Vintage News present.
Hey guys, Rocky again. Welcome to a top 5 video. So, today I'm doing my top 5 console controllers of all time. Not computer or what have you, just console ones. So, without have you do, let's get started. So number 5, the Sega Dreamcast arcade stick. Now I'm not much of a fighting guy, but I do love Soul Calibur on the Dreamcast. It's a button mash, and I'm not bad at it. And the arcade stick is just perfect for that. It's brilliant joystick. It's micro switched. If you're left-handed like me, then you joystick in the left hand, the buttons in your right, you're buttering away. And it's tough construction. In fact, the very bottom of it's actually just like a metal plate, so it's not plastic at all. So you have it in your lap and you batter it away, or it's got 4 rubber feet as well. You can put it on a table and you can hammer it away. At one point I owned 3 of them, 2 of which I rewired and used in a MAME cabinet, well, a MAME setup, and I was playing Metal Slug with it. Absolutely fantastic fun. You weren't afraid to batter that, and of course, good arcade games, it's just really heavy duty sticks. Absolutely fantastic. I love them dearly. They're built like tanks, and that's my number 5. So number 4, well, didn't really have a lot of consoles growing up, but I did have a Master System. So number 4 is the Sega Master System controller. I played Alex Kidd in Miracle World to death with that controller. I played Action Fighter, Sonic. I just love the controller. I know it's very similar to the NES controller, but I just prefer the D-pad and the way the 2 buttons are set out. It could do with a couple more buttons, yes. It could do with a start and a pause button, but I just love it. Just more like from my childhood, that hundreds of hours when I actually finished Alex Kidd in Miracle World, built in on the Master System 2, just battering away on the controller. It would be higher up my list, but it has its faults. It's missing a couple of extra buttons, and the D-pad bit does tend to come out at times. I have a couple of broken ones sitting here, and it's just still a really good controller and a big favourite of mine. So that's my number 4, the Sega Master System pad. Now we're in the top 3. So my third favourite controller for consoles of all time has to be the Dreamcast standard controller. I know a lot of people don't like it, and again, it's not perfect, but I really like it. It was my first proper experience of analog controlling on a console, and of course, being left-handed, the analog nub is on the left side, so I just like the holding it. I'm not keen on the cable coming at the bottom, and it can be a bit heavy when the VMU and the Rumble pack in it, but I think it's perfect for games like Crazy Taxi, or even Soul Calibur again, or one of the many hundreds of great games on the Dreamcast. Again, very much like the Dreamcast, very underrated controller. Can take a pounding, it's good rate triggers, just love it. Love it, love it, love it, love it, love it. So that was my third favourite controller of all time, the Dreamcast standard controller. And now we're in the top 2. Now this one was a bit of a toss-up, and I did change positions a couple of times, but based on my history, it's number 2. So it's the PlayStation 4 controller. Now I absolutely hated the PS1, the PS2, the PS3 controller, which is basically the same controller. I think the D-pad is absolute nonsense. I think the triggers are just ridiculous and they make it unusable. That's probably the reason I didn't play as many PS3 games as I should have, because of the damn trigger bits. And I even bought the bits that stuck on and it didn't make it any better. I didn't like the way the analog nubs were set. I just didn't like the controller. But the PS4 one, with those new triggers and just the way they've just kind of smoothed it out, I've been playing the majority of my modern day gaming on the PS4 basically because the controller is great. It would be my number 1, but there's a couple of things that do annoy me. I think the touchpad in the middle is too hard, and those stupid share buttons, the share button and the other button, I can never remember the name of, they can be hard to get to. But I think it's a great controller. Sony have done a fantastic job with it. So that was number 2, the PS4 controller. And finally, number 1. What can I say about this controller? I think it's perfect. I actually think it's perfect. It's the Xbox 360 controller. I just absolutely love it. I think the position of the offset position of the analog sticks, I think the 4 face buttons are brilliant. The triggers are absolutely fantastic. I even like the D-pad. And I know a lot of people stupid, but no. I think the start and the select buttons are in the right place. Not only have I literally played hundreds, maybe thousands of hours on the 360 with it, I've also got a wired one in front of me that I use for gaming on the Mac, and sometimes when I flip back to Windows for gaming on the PC via Steam. Brilliant. I bought weird adapters to try and get it to work on retro consoles. I just think the controller's great. It's perfectly weighted. It's no proprietary battery, so it's just a couple of double E's. You can change them out, or you can use a wired one. It just fits perfect in my hands. I think all the buttons are, I can use the controller without looking at it. I'm just gaming away. It's just natural for me. Perhaps the PS4 one will overtake it in time, but at this point in time, the Xbox 360 controller is my absolute favourite of all time. So guys, that was my top 5 controllers of all time. Hope you enjoyed the video. Put in the comments below what your top 5 are and why. Take care. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.